begin with, there's a few verses that we establish the what we call Mangalacharan, because the subject matter is the chanting of the holy name, which is our sadhana and our sadhya, because it goes on here in this world as a sadhaka, and it goes on in Krishna's world as a siddha. Chanting Hare Krishna is going on here and there. And that's what Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote that song, Golokera Premadana Harinam Sankirtan. So Harinam Sankirtan came down to this world. We see Rupa Goswami, he's explaining what is the intention of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Lord Chaitanya, he wanted everyone to drown. Because now we're drowning, but we're drowning in the samsara. It's also compared to an ocean. Samsara, Gunarnava, Arnava, ocean of bad qualities. So Rupa Goswami in Laghu Bhagavatamrita, he glorifies Lord Chaitanya by saying, Sri Chaitanya Makod Girna, Hare Krishneti Varnaka, Majayanto Jagat Premni, Vijayantam Taravaya. All glories to the Hare Krishna Mahamantra that issued forth from the mouth of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and is drowning the entire universe in Krishna Prem. So here Rupa Goswami, he's explaining a very beautiful verse, some very interesting points. One is, this is our ultimate prospect, that everyone is seeking pleasure, happiness. That's our nature, looking for happiness, avoiding pain. And Lord Chaitanya has come to immerse us in an ocean of Prem, Krishna Prem, Majayanto, Jagat Premni, the whole universe. So this we're establishing here in the beginning of the book, what is the actual sadhya? That the sadhya, the goal of chanting Hare Krishna, is to be absorbed in the Prem Seva of Radha and Krishna, and to be drown this whole universe in the ocean of Prem Nam Sankirtan. Another point that's very interesting is that Rupa Goswami is establishing what particular mantra Chaitanya Mahaprabhu want to use to drown the universe. Because generally the verses say Harinam, Harinam, Harinam Eva Kevalam from Brihad Naradiya Puran, establishing that this is the only Dharma for Kali Yuga. And then when we read the Bengali verses in Chaitanya Bhagavat and Chaitanya Charitamrita, it says Nam Sankirtan, Hariyaraya Nama Krishna. It always says Nam Sankirtan. So that can be Govinda Nam, Gopal Nam. So many different names are there, and they're all bona fide. I mean, I don't mean to say bona fide, but they're all powerful in themselves to grant Krishna Prem, if they're actually Mukhya Nam or Prem Nam, Govinda, Hari, Madhav, etc. But here he's saying that Mukod Girna Hari Krishneti Varnaka. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, the Hare Krishna movement. So this is the particular varna, this particular syllables that came out of his mouth, Hare Krishna. And this is the mantra that Rupa Goswami is saying, this is the mantra that he's using, Mahaprabhu is using in Kali Yuga to drown the entire universe in Prem. It says, Majayanto Jagat Premni. Majayanto means, you see that word so many times in Chaitanya Bhagavat and Chaitanya Charitamrita, drowning, Majayanto, drowning. It's totally submerged. Because we're surrounded nowadays, especially, there are so many different Vaishnavas, and they're worshipping different lords and Ishtadevs. So here in Vrindavan, there's so many Nimbarkis, and they're chanting the Radha Krishna, whatever, I don't know what they call that, but that's their mantra, their Ishta mantra. But when we see here in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he's not telling us to chant that. When Radha and Krishna actually came, at least, of course, whether they accept that, that's another thing. But when Radha and Krishna came 500 years ago as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then they're saying, yes, this is the mantra. This is the mantra we want to give in the Kali Yuga. Although Nimbarki, of course, he's a bona fide acharya, he's giving that mantra. So they lead to the same destination. But the idea is that this verse, Rupa Goswami, is very clearly establishing that this is the mantra that Lord Chaitanya has given. And it's also mentioned in Chaitanya Bhagavat. The whole mantra is there, where he's telling people to chant this mantra, and he says, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So because sometimes devotees, they have some question, well, if the Ishtadeva of the Mahamantra is the Yugal, Radha Govinda Yugal. Then why don't we just chant the Yugal direct? People often say, why don't we just chant Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Sham. Why do we go indirect way? Go directly this way. Why do we go like this way? Sometimes people say like, go around, touch your nose. It's indirect, but you'll go this way. So then devotees don't have maybe some defense for that. But throughout the Shastras, this parokshavad or indirect glorification, of course it's not indirect, and is even more pleasing to the Lord, because Hare is nothing but Radharani, and that's what the word means. So the whole Maha Mantra, of course, is Radha and Krishna. So this verse, this is pointing us in the very beginning of the book. This is a very standard procedure in the Goswami's writings. That in the beginning of the book, they establish one verse, which is, you must have heard the term, Paribhasa Sutra. This is the verse by which the whole book hangs on, you could say. Just like the Paribhasa Sutra in Nectar Devotion is Anyavilashita Shunyam, which is, I think, verse 11 or so in the very beginning of the book. Anyavilashita Shunyam Jnana Karmadya Navinam, where Rupa Goswami is defining what is Uttam Bhakti. And then from there, the whole book is describing it. And then the Srimad Bhagavatam, the Paribhasa Sutra, is the verse about Krishna. Ete chamsa kalapamsa. Krishna stu Bhagavan Swayam. That verse. That Krishna is Swayam Bhagavan. Now this book, the Srimad Bhagavatam, is going to explain how Krishna is Swayam Bhagavan and how pure bhakti, pure bhakti is the best way to worship Krishna. And this will be seen finally in the 10th canto. So this verse was our idea to be the Paribhasa Sutra of the art of chanting. That this is the mantra, Hare Krishneti Varnaka, and this is the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mukod Girna, Mukha, from Chaitanya Mukh, from the mouth of Chaitanya, this mantra came. So many mantras. He chanted Hari Haraya Nama Krishna, he chanted Krishna 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 Hey. He was by chanting those names, he was immersing himself in an ocean of ecstasy and viraha bhav and separation from Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hey, and Radharani's viraha. So he himself, but to immerse others, then he used this mantra, Hare Krishneti Varnaka, Majiyanto Jagat Premi. So his own inner bhavs and his own inner relish, Krishna 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 Hey, Krishna Keshava Pahimam. Or Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Madhavaya, go like this. But for us, so this is the first point. And then further on, in terms of Mangalacharan, there's many verses, but there's two verses that glorify Haridas Thakur. Namami Haridasam Tam, Chaitanyam Tam Chatat Prabhum. This is from Antya Lila, Chaitanya Charitamrita, 11th chapter, verse 2. And Krishna's Kaviraj is saying, let me offer my respectful obeisances unto Haridas Thakur and his master, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because our access or our progress in the holy name depends on Mahant Kripa, the mercy of Guru, the mercy of Vaishnavas, and especially the mercy of the Namacharya. So here we're invoking his mercy before we begin this course on the holy name, as Krishna's Kaviraj himself is doing in Antya Lila. Because Antya Lila, of course, the Shikshastakam comes in Antya Lila, and the disappearance of Haridas Thakur comes in this particular chapter, Antya Lila, chapter 11. So this is one verse, and then further on, there's another verse. Jaya Jaya Haridasa Bali Kara Haridwani Heta Bali Mahaprabhu Nachena Apani Sabai Ghai Jaya 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 Haridas Namara Mahima Jaina Karila Prakash. Mahaprabhu then told everyone. So, on behalf of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, if I may take the liberty, I'm going to, I can't say tell everyone, God can tell and order, but I will request everyone, as Mahaprabhu is saying, everyone say, all glories to Haridas Thakur. All glories to Haridas Thakur. And then chant the holy name of Hari. Hari! So saying this, Mahaprabhu personally began to dance. Everyone began to chant, all glories to Haridas Thakur, who revealed the glories of chanting the holy name of the Lord. Namer Mahima Jena Karila Prakash. This is very basic Sanskrit Bengali. It's Bengali, but it's the same as Sanskrit in this case. It's quite obvious. Namayara Mahima, the glories of the holy name, Prakash, as everyone knows, Karila, he did it. He made it manifest. He revealed the glories of the holy name by his teachings, by his words, and by his example of taking full shelter in the holy name. So, with his blessings, we will go forward, trying to discuss some of the glories of the holy name, following in his footsteps of Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur, Namayara Mahima Jena Karila Prakash. And by his mercy, we hope that we can, through the quotations in this book, reveal something about the wonderful glories of this sacred mantra, which is our very life and soul of all the Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Jaya Jaya Haridasa Bali Kara Haridhwani Nachena Apani. Mahaprabhu is dancing, Nachena. Nacha Amar. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu